Hello students, welcome back. So last class we studied about preparation and properties of oxygen and ozone, and here we are going to study another part of this chapter, that is preparation and properties of sulfur dioxide and sulfuric acid. So let us first start the preparation and properties of sulfur dioxide. Preparation and properties of sulfur dioxide. The sulfur dioxide is a gas at room temperature and it has burning sulfur smell. So here the sulfur atom undergo sp2 hybridization. In this way, the OSO bond is angular and its bond angle is nearly equal to 120 degree, that is 119.5 degree, and the OS bond angle is nearly equal to 143 picometer. Okay, so let us start how the sulfur dioxide is prepared. So the sulfur dioxide gas is prepared directly by burning sulfur with oxygen. So when sulfur bond with oxygen, S plus O2 give rise to SO2 gas. So when it is burned, when sulfur undergo oxidation, it gives sulfur dioxide. Similarly, this gas also prepared by heating different sulfide ores. So when different sulfide ores are roasted, they undergo heating. So when they undergo roasting in presence of oxygen, generally it forms sulfur dioxide. For example, FeH2 plus O2 give rise to Fe2O3 plus SO2. So 4FeH2 plus 11O2 give rise to 2Fe2O3 plus 8SO2. Similarly, suppose lead sulfide is there, then it is heated, it also forms plus sulfur dioxide gas. So in this way, these salts are, so it also forms PbO plus sulfur dioxide gas. Similarly, suppose zinc sulfide is there and it is heated, it also forms zinc oxide and sulfur dioxide gas. So in this way, sulfur dioxide gas is prepared by heating the sulfide ores, by roasting the sulfide ores. Next, this sulfur dioxide gas is also prepared by the reaction of sulfide salts with dilute hydrochloric acid or dilute sulfuric acid. Okay, so these are also prepared by the reaction of dilute hydrochloric acid with some sulfide salts. For example, Na2SO3 plus 2HCl. It gives rise to 2NaCl plus SO2 plus H2O. So in this way, this is also prepared by heating bisulfide, by treating bisulfide. When treated with hydrochloric acid, it forms NaCl plus SO2 plus H2O. So sulfur dioxide gas are also produced when sulfides or bisulfide salts are treated with dilute hydrochloric acids. And these here also prepared by heating metals like copper, iron in presence of concentrated sulfuric acid. So, in laboratory methods of preparation, this sulfur dioxide gas is prepared. In laboratory methods of preparation, the sulfur dioxide gas is prepared by heating the copper chips with concentrated sulfuric acids. So, copper chips are generally taken in a flat bottom flask or round bottom flask. Then some amount of sulfuric acid is added to that. Then heated, it forms a sulfur dioxide gas. So, the sulfur dioxide gas, these are heavier than air. In this way, these are collected by upward displacement of air. And these gases are generally dried by passing them with concentrated sulfuric acid. Okay, so copper plus 2H2SO4, that should be concentrated, and on heating it gives CuSO4 plus H2O, 2H2O plus SO2. In the laboratory, this is prepared by heating these copper chips with concentrated sulfuric acid, and generally this is collected by upward displacement of air because it is heavier than air. Okay, next come to properties of sulfur dioxide. So sulfur dioxide is a colorless gas having pungent odor. That is, it has burning sulfur smell, irritating smell. Okay, it is highly soluble in water. So these are highly soluble gases in water, and these are acidic in nature. In this way, it turns blue litmus red. Okay, so in sulfur dioxide, it can act as reducing agent as well as it can act as oxidizing agents. In very few cases, it acts as oxidizing agents. In maximum cases, it acts as reducing agents. So, reducing action of sulfur dioxide. So, in presence of moisture, sulfur dioxide liberate nascent hydrogen. In presence of moisture, it liberates nascent hydrogen. In this way, it acts as a reducing agent. Similarly, sulfur dioxide gas also takes one oxygen atom. Sulfur dioxide gas also takes one oxygen atom in presence of moisture to form H2SO4. So, due to these two types of property, sulfur dioxide acts as reducing agent. So, it reduces various reagents such as it reduces the halogens to halogen acids. For example, SO2, 2H2O give rise to H2SO4 plus 2H, and suppose chlorine plus 2H give rise to 2HCl. In this way, Cl2 plus SO2 plus 2H2O give rise to, so SO2 plus Cl2 plus 2H2O give rise to 2H2H cancels, give rise to H2SO4 plus 2HCl. So it reduces chlorine to hydrochloric acids. It also reduces the ferrous sulfate to ferric sulfate solution. So SO2 plus 2H2O give rise to H2SO4 plus 2H, and when it reacts with ferrous sulfate, it reduces ferric sulfate to ferrous sulfate. It reduces ferric sulfate to ferrous sulfate. It reduces ferric sulfate to ferrous sulfate. Fe2SO4 whole thrice plus 2H give rise to 2FeSO4 plus H2SO4. In this overall reaction, Fe2SO4 whole thrice plus SO2 plus 2H2O give rise to 2FeSO4 plus 2H2SO4. So it reduces ferric sulfate to ferrosulfate, chlorine to hydrochloric acids. Okay, so it also reduces acidified potassium permanganate and potassium dichromate solution. It reduces the potassium, it discharges the acidified potassium permanganate, the pink color of potassium permanganate, to colorless. So 2KMnO4 plus H2SO4 give rise to K2SO4, 2MnSO4 plus H2O plus 5O. Okay, so 2KMnO4, K2SO4, 2M5H2 plus 5O. Now sulfur dioxide in presence of moisture takes up this oxygen to form H2SO4. As there are 5 oxygens, so multiply this by 5, so that the equation becomes 2KMnO4 plus, here 3H2SO4 and here 5H2SO4, here 5H2O and there 3H2O. In this way, 2H2O plus 5SO2 give rise to K2SO4, 2MnSO4 plus 2H2SO4. Okay, so in this way, potassium permanganate, its color is pink. The pink color of potassium permanganate changes to colorless. Manganese in Mn2 plus is colorless. Okay. Similarly, it reduces acidified potassium dichromate solution to green color. So the orange color of potassium dichromate solution, is changes to green. Okay, so K2Cr2O7 plus H2SO4 give rise to potassium sulfate, chromium sulfate, water plus 3 oxygen. And this here SO2 plus H2O plus oxygen, H2SO4. So in this way, so this equation should be multiplied by 3. So it gives you K2Cr2O7, 3SO2 plus here 3H2O and here 4H2O. In this side 1H2O and here 4H2SO4, 3H2SO4. In this side here 1H2SO4 give rise to potassium sulfate, chromium sulfate, and water. Okay, so in this way, its color is orange and it is converted to green. So it changes, it reduces the acidified potassium dichromate solution, the green color of acidified potassium dichromate solution to green color of chromium sulfate. Okay, it also reduces potassium iodate to iodic, potassium iodate to iodine. It also reduces potassium iodate to iodine. 2KiO3, sorry, potassium iodate plus give rise to potassium sulfate plus H2SO4 plus I2. Okay, so it reduces potassium iodate to iodine. So when the sulfur dioxide gas, so these are some reduction property or reducing properties of sulfur dioxide, and this sulfur dioxide also acts as oxidizing agent. If there is some strong reducing agent present, then it can act as oxidizing agent. So when sulfur dioxide treated with hydrogen sulfide, it forms sulfur. So sulfur gets precipitated or a colloidal solution of sulfur. So H2S plus SO2 give rise to H2O plus sulfur. So in this way, 2H2O plus 3S. So it gets a colloidal solution of sulfur. Here H2S acts as reducing agent and SO2, this is acts as oxidizing agent. This is the oxidizing property. Oxidizing property. Next. This sulfur dioxide gas also acts as a bleaching agent, but this bleaching action is due to its reducing property. Sulfur dioxide acts as a bleaching agent, but this bleaching action, the bleaching action is due to reducing property, due to its reducing property, and this is bleaching action. So the bleaching action of sulfur dioxide is due to its reducing property. So as a liberate nascent hydrogen. So that nascent hydrogen, when any vegetable coloring matter is treated with this nascent hydrogen, it becomes colorless. And again, when exposed to atmosphere, on exposure to atmosphere, it regains its color. Okay. So SO2 plus 2H2O give rise to H2SO4 plus 2H, and any coloring matter, that is natural coloring matter, vegetable coloring matter, when treated with this nascent hydrogen, it becomes colorless, that is vegetable colorless matter. So any natural coloring matter, when treated with hydrogen, it becomes vegetable colorless matter. And again, on atmospheric oxidation, it is converted into the colored matter. again it is converted into the coloring matter. So in this way the bleaching action of sulfur dioxide is temporary. Next come to the preparation and properties of sulfuric acid. Sulfuric acid, this is also known as oil of vitriol. This is also known as oil of vitriol. So this is generally prepared either by contact process or chambers process. In contact process, the sulfuric acid is prepared from sulfur dioxide, and the sulfur dioxide generally prepared from sulfur by burning sulfur with oxygen, or sulfur dioxide is also prepared from different sulfide ores. So when the different sulfide ores heated with oxygen, they form sulfur dioxide, or directly by burning sulfur with oxygen, it forms sulfur dioxide. In first step, sulfur dioxide is prepared, and next step, the sulfur dioxide gas then undergo oxidation, then treated with oxygen to form sulfur trioxide. So this is exothermic reaction, and okay, this is a reversible reaction. So first process, sulfur dioxide is prepared. In the second step, sulfur dioxide undergo oxidation to form sulfur trioxide. So in this process, generally platinum asbestos or vanadium pentoxide is used as catalyst. So by using this catalyst, generally sulfur trioxide is prepared, and this is a reversible reaction and exothermic reaction. In this way, for getting more amount of sulfur trioxide, you have to use more amount of sulfur dioxide and oxygen. And this reaction should be maintained at low temperature. This is because optimum temperature, it has some optimum temperature because it is exothermic nature, and here the number of moles are less. In this way, high pressure. Under high pressure and high concentration of sulfur dioxide and oxygen, and at optimum temperature or low temperature, generally sulfur trioxide is prepared. So after this preparation of sulfur trioxide, then this sulfur trioxide treated with concentrated sulfuric acid. This is again treated with concentrated sulfuric acid to form oleum, H2H2O7. It forms oleum or fuming sulfuric acid, also known as fuming sulfuric acid. And then this fuming sulfuric acid then treated with water to prepare the desired concentration of sulfuric acid. Then last step, this fuming sulfuric acid treated with water to form sulfuric acid of desired concentration. So in this way, sulfuric acid is prepared. This is the general principle to prepare sulfuric acid. First sulfur dioxide, then formation of sulfur trioxide, then formation of this oleum, and after that formation of sulfuric acid of desired concentration. Next come to properties. Sulfuric acid is a corrosive nature and this is a syrupy liquid. Syrupy liquid because it can form viscous liquid, syrupy liquid because it can form intermolecular hydrogen bond. So sulfuric acid, as it can form intermolecular hydrogen bond with each other, in this way it exists as a liquid and it has high boiling point. So due to this intermolecular hydrogen bonding, it exists as a liquid and its boiling point is also higher, that is about 338 degrees Celsius. So in this way, these are the physical properties of sulfuric acid. And next come to chemical properties of sulfuric acid. So sulfuric acid is a di-basic acid. It is a strong acid as well as a di-basic acid. H2SO4 give rise to H plus HSO4 minus, and again HSO4 minus gives H plus SO4 minus 2. In this way, sulfuric acid, when reacts with bases, it forms two series of salt like NaCl. When it reacts with bases like NaOH plus H2SO4 gives NaHSO4 plus H2O. Similarly, it reacts with more number of sodium hydroxide to form Na2SO4 plus 2H2O. So it forms two series of salt when reacts with bases. Okay, so when reacts with bases, and again it reacts with active metals like sodium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, etc. to liberate hydrogen gas with formation of corresponding salt. Zinc plus H2SO4 ZnSO4 plus hydrogen. Similarly, magnesium plus sulfuric acid give rise to magnesium sulfate plus hydrogen. It reacts with metal oxides to form salt like ZnO plus H2SO4 give rise to ZnSO4 plus H2O. Similarly, reacts with metal oxides to give corresponding salt plus water. So in this it reacts with metals to form corresponding salt and hydrogen. It reacts with metal oxides to form salt and water. It reacts with metal hydroxides to form salt and water. So previously we have looked here another example, NaOH. So always NaOH always zinc hydroxide plus H2SO4 ZnSO4 plus 2H2O. So it reacts with metals, metal oxides and metal hydroxides to form salt, in this case hydrogen and in this case water. Okay, so it reacts with them. Sulfur dioxide, it is a strong acid. It also acts as an oxidizing agent. It oxidizes various nonmetals to corresponding acids, to their corresponding acids. So sulfuric acid when heated actually gives H2O plus SO2 plus O. As it gives nascent oxygen, hence it acts as oxidizing nature. It acts as oxidizing agent. Sulfuric acid also acts as oxidizing agent. Okay, so it oxidizes phosphorus to phosphoric acid. It oxidizes phosphorus to phosphoric acid, hydrogen sulfide to sulfur. Okay, it oxidizes different halogen acids to halogens. So it oxidizes halogen acids to halogens, hydrogen sulfide to sulfur, phosphorus to phosphoric acid, like this. Look here, some equations. H2SO4 plus H2O give rise to H2SO4 give rise to H2O, SO2 plus O. So when it reacts with phosphorus, so phosphorus plus oxygen give rise to P2O5. So as it gives you P2O5, so here I have to use 10O. Okay, 10 oxygen, so that will give P2O5. And P2O5, when treated with water, it forms H3PO4, phosphoric acid. Okay, so it forms phosphoric acid. As there are 2P, so there are 6 hydrogen. So there are 6 hydrogen in this way 3 H2O. So total 3 into 4. Okay. So phosphorus oxygen give rise to P2O5 and P2O5 plus water give rise to H3PO4. So as there are 10O, so multiply this equation by 10, and as there are 2P2O5, multiply this equation by 2. So that overall equation becomes P2O5, so P4 plus 10O plus 10H2SO4, and here water is 10H2 and here there is 6H2O. Okay, so P4 plus 10H2SO4 give rise to 2 into 2, that is 4H3PO4 plus here how many sulfur dioxide? 10SO2, here 10H2 and here 6H2O, that is 4H2O. So when treated with phosphorus, it forms sulfur dioxide and phosphoric acid. Similarly, sulfuric acid when treated with carbon, it forms carbon dioxide, and sulfuric acid when treated with sulfur, it forms sulfur dioxide. Okay, so sulfur carbon plus H2SO4, it gives rise to carbon dioxide, water plus sulfur dioxide. And when sulfur heated with sulfuric acid, it forms sulfur dioxide and H2O. Okay, so these are not balanced. 2H2O, 2H2O, 3SO2, 2H2SO4, 2H2SO2. Okay, so in this way, it forms carbon when treated with concentrated sulfuric acid, it forms carbon dioxide. When sulfur treated with concentrated sulfuric acid, it forms sulfur dioxide. Similarly, when it treated with different halogen acids like HBr, HI, etc., it forms corresponding halogens. Look here, H2SO4 give rise to H2O, SO2 plus O, and when treated with Hi plus O give rise to H2O plus I2. So in this way it gives 2Hi plus H2SO4, 2H2O, SO2 plus I2. Similarly, when reacts with hydrobromic acid, it forms 2HBr plus H2SO4 give rise to bromine. In the same way, it reacts with halogen acids to form halogens. It oxidizes halogen acids to halogens. Okay. Next come to how it reacts with some non-active metals. When it reacts with active metals, it liberates hydrogen gas, and when it reacts with non-active metals or which have high reduction potential, then it generally liberates sulfur dioxide gas. So when copper heated with concentrated sulfuric acid, it forms copper sulfate, sulfur dioxide plus H2O. So here concentrated 2H2SO4, when it is heated, copper sulfate, sulfur dioxide plus 2H2O. Similarly, it reacts with also iron, lead. It reacts in the same manner with lead, reacts in the same manner with iron in concentrated sulfuric acid to form corresponding metal sulfates, then sulfur dioxide, then water. Okay, same way it reacts with iron and lead also. Next come to how it reacts with the soluble salts of calcium, magnesium, strontium. When sulfuric acid treated with the soluble salts of calcium, strontium and barium, it forms a white precipitate. It forms a white precipitate, CaCl2 or plus H2SO4 give rise to CaSO4 plus 2HCl. Similarly, when reacts with strontium nitrate, soluble salts of strontium nitrate, this is soluble, and treated with sulfuric acid, it forms strontium sulfate plus 2HNO3. Similarly, when treated with barium chloride solution and sulfuric acid, it forms a white precipitate of barium sulfate and 2HCl. This calcium sulfate, strontium sulfate, barium sulfate, all are white precipitates, and these are also insoluble in hydrochloric acids. In this way, sulfuric acid reacts with soluble salts of calcium, strontium and magnesium. Next come to another property, that is it acts as a dehydrating agent. Sulfuric acid has more affinity towards water. As it has more affinity towards water, it acts as a dehydrating agent. Sulfuric acid has more affinity towards water. It absorbs water molecule. It forms hydrates of water. In this way, so it forms hydrates with water. In this way, it acts as a dehydrating agent. So sulfuric acid acts as a dehydrating agent. In various chemical reactions, it acts as a dehydrating agent. For example, when it reacts with carbohydrates, that is cotton, pepper or sugar, generally it reacts with carbohydrates. So from this carbohydrate, it absorbs all the water molecule and convert it to black. That is called charring of sugar. That is called charring of carbohydrate or charring of sugar. So when sugar treated with concentrated sulfuric acid C12H22O11. This is sugar, or you can take any carbohydrate, that is glucose or cotton or pepper, etc. So when these are treated with concentrated sulfuric acid, it forms a black mass. It forms carbon. So 12 carbon, all these water molecules are removed from here, plus 11 H2O plus sulfuric acid. So in this way it forms hydrates of sulfuric acid and black mass is obtained. So this is called char or charring of sugar. Similarly, when you take glucose and treated with concentrated sulfuric acid, it also forms carbon plus H2O and H2SO4. So all the water molecules are removed from this. Similarly, it reacts with different reagents, like when treated with oxalic acid and treated with concentrated sulfuric acid. It forms carbon monoxide and water. So it forms some hydrates. So it forms hydrates, different amount of water it can absorb. Similarly, when treated with oxalic acid, it forms a mixture of carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide. Treated with concentrated sulfuric acid, it forms CO, CO2 plus H2O and H2SO4. So it's as it forms hydrate of this, so I have written in bracket. Okay, so in this way oxalic acid also forms carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide. So in this way it acts as a dehydrating agent. In various organic reactions also, you know, when an alcohol treated with concentrated sulfuric acid, it undergoes dehydration to form different compounds at different temperature. At high temperature, generally it forms an alkene, and at low temperature it forms an ether. Okay, so in this way it acts as a dehydrating agent. So sulfuric acid acts as an important laboratory reagent. It is used for the manufacture of different fertilizers, different chemicals like hydrochloric acid, chlorine, etc. It is used in lead storage battery. So it is also used in petrochemicals. So due to its vast application, this sulfuric acid acts as known as dehydrating agent. Okay, now comes to, so this sulfur again forms a series of acids, oxo acids. Okay, next come to oxo acids of sulfur. Oxo acids of sulfur. Sulfur form different types of oxo acids. One is OS series of acid, another EC series of acid. Okay, so in this way it forms different series of acids. Here look at different structures and their names of these oxo acids of sulfur. So first, all series of acids. First, sulfurous acid. So this is SO3. Then this is sulfurous acid. Next, thiosulfurous acid. When this oxygen atom is replaced by sulfur, that is known as your thiosulfurous acid. Then S, sulfur, here S, OH and OH, H2, H2 and O2. This is thiosulfurous acid. This is sulfurous acid. Similarly, another pyrosulfurous acid. So these two groups of sulfurous acid when combined and one water molecule is removed from it, this is known as your pyrosulfurous acid. So in this structure is S double bond O, OH here, and here O, and S double bond O, OH. So this is known as your pyrosulfurous acid. And another acid, that is hyposulfurous acid. In hyposulfurous acid, this oxygen is removed from here. In this way, S double bond O, S double bond O, OH, OH. So this is known as your hyposulfurous acid. So it forms the sulfurous earth series forms 4 types of oxo acids. Similarly, each series also forms different types of oxo acids. Look at their structures. S double bond O, and here double bond O, OH, OH. It has tetrahedral shape. Okay, so this is sulfuric acid. Sulfuric acid formula H2SO4. H2SO4. Next it forms thiosulfuric acid, one oxygen atom replaced by sulfur. So S double bond O, here S and OH, OH, thiosulfuric acid. Here formula H2H2O3. Next it also forms hyposulfuric acid. So in pyrosulfuric acid, this OH group, 2 sulfuric acid combines and 1 water molecule is removed from that. So in this way, S double bond O, here double bond O, S double bond, and 1 OH here, 1 OH here. So this is known as your pyrosulfuric acid, pyrosulfuric acid formula H2H2O8. H2H2O8. This is known as your pyrosulfuric acid. And another, that is known as your hyposulfuric acid. In hyposulfuric acid, this oxygen is removed from here. In this way, S double bond O, and O, S double bond O. Okay, so no oxygen atom here, sulfur bond, OH and OH. This is known as your hyposulfuric acid. Hyposulfuric acid. This is known as your hyposulfuric So in this way, that is H2H2O7. And another, it also forms another type of oxoacids that are known as peroxysulfuric acid. One is peroxy monosulfuric acid and peroxy disulfuric acid. In peroxy monosulfuric acid, the structure of peroxy monosulfuric acid is S double bond O. Instead of this oxide bond, there is a peroxide linkage and all other things are same, that is OH. This is peroxy monosulfuric acid, also known as Carros acid. Carros acid H2SO5. Similarly, another peroxy disulfuric acid, also known as Marshall's acid, S double bond O, O, OH and OH. So this is known as your peroxy disulfuric acid, also known as Marshall's acid. Okay, Carros acid. This is known as peroxy monosulfuric acid. So in this series, the oxygen has generally oxidation number +6. In OS series, generally oxidation number is +4. So these are some structures of some oxoacids of sulfur.